I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Welcome to 500 Open Tabs. I'm Hannah Hillam.
And I'm Kavi Taharian. Welcome back to the show, Hannah. We are recording this after C2E2 happened,
Chicago.
Technically, right? That totally happened at the time of this recording.
Like a few days ago.
Oh my God. My wings are... I do this dumb joke every time. I just got back and my arms are tired.
You've locked into one dad joke and one dad joke only, and it's that.
I have no personality. I don't know what to tell you.
That is the opposite of true.
Yeah.
I think one would say, as they've said to me, you have too much personality.
That's true. But at the time of this, obviously we recorded this in advance, but
Sure.
We can assume... thank you to everybody who came to visit us at the table in Chicago. We always have a great time in Chicago, so it's safe to assume that even though at the time of this recording we haven't actually been to Chicago yet, that we would have had an excellent time, and that
such a good
showed
city
up to everything. And I just realized that the previous episodes I did not mention the panel that I had. So there was a panel that I was on. And retroactively, I mean, I guess we can go back and record that. That doesn't really matter. But I'll just say
at the end, and Alyssa can
thank you to everybody
there.
who showed up to the panel. Assuming that anybody actually did. So yeah, great time was had by all at C2E2 in Chicago. Love Chicago. Love C2E2.
It's
great
such
crowd.
a good con.
Absolutely one of my favorites. I say that about every show, but I do love, I'm now a Midwest boy by proxy through marriage.
You married into it.
I'm married into it.
And the thing about that is that when you're part of the Midwest, like a Midwest family, you become it.
It's true.
There's parts of you that are I guess I'm Midwestern now.
No, that's true. It's like I always joke with Sarah. I was like, I'm Midwest. And I was like, and you're Iranian now. I was like, that's how it is. The Midwest is stronger than the Mexican of my wife, which is hilarious.
That's my favorite part about it. It's Sarah's Mexican.
No, she's Midwest first, then
she's
Mexican.
Midwest Mexican.
That's the dominant strain, right?
The dominant strain. I love how it's like a virus now. A strain.
I guess I don't mean it that way.
I was going to say I want to say it was a Canadian person telling me about how, it was our neighbors. They were like, yeah, we want to do C2E2. They're from Canada. Our neighbors are our
you're
neighbors
talking about our neighbors,
ECCC. Not
Shout
my real
out
neighbors.
Yuki and Leaf. Very sweet, very talented, very fun.
Nicest neighbors ever.
Fantastic.
Yuki and Leaf. We'll put their link. Should we link to them?
Yeah, we should put their link to them. Yeah, they were great. We should.
Kindest people.
Very, very wonderful to hang out with.
I was going to say, not my actual neighbors. They are my enemy. And I am sworn to always be an enemy with this neighbor over here, particularly. Doesn't matter.
Just for those of you who are not watching the show and listening to it. She pointed to her own neighbors in the home she's living in, because you just transitioned to talking about our neighbors from our neighbors let's just recap here. Our neighbors at ECCC were our friends and we like them and they're living in Canada. And then Hannah transitioned to remembering that she didn't like her own neighbors at the house she lives in. And then now she's going back to talking about our friend neighbors, Yuki and Leaf, who we like, who we want to shout out. Just catching everybody up.
Thank you for translating. I genuinely need that sometimes. Ooh, I'm all sweaty all of a sudden.
Woo!
So Yuki and Leaf were like, yeah, we want to do C2E2, but everybody in Canada keeps being like, don't go to Chicago. It's like a really scary city. And I was like, Chicago? The nicest, most normal people go to C2E2.
Yeah.
Just salt of the earth. I almost laughed. I was like, are you kidding? Absolutely go to Chicago.
Yeah.
But the news just makes Chicago sound terrifying.
Yeah. But the news, to be fair, makes everywhere in America right now sound terrifying. Which, to be fair, it is. But it's not because of the people of Chicago or the people of Los Angeles or the people. Yes,
of
exactly.
Yeah, it's I want to say complicated, but it's not.
No, it's pretty straightforward.
Chicago, great.
Chicago,
thanks for coming.
Chicago, great, Michael. Thank you.
Chicago, good. Oh yeah, America, mess, big mess.
America, mess. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for coming to Chicago.
Yes.
We'll start plugging properly, but our next show is going to be Oakland in the beginning of May. We'll be talking more in detail about that as we get closer, because of course,
hometown show for
no
your
one
boy
remembers
here.
shit. Yeah, the East Bay. We're doing the East Bay show. I'm very excited. I love the East Bay. I know Hannah is South Bay trash, but not for long.
Honestly, you're right. If Silicon Valley hadn't been a thing, the South Bay would just be a nothing. There's be nothing down here.
Listen, it's a fake rivalry. You're actually
know.
from the South Bay, like properly, and you're
Yeah.
cool. You're not like one of these cucks who moves in and is like, oh, I'm taking over and buying a house in Atherton because I have 10 million stocks in Facebook.
No,
Shut
I'm
up.
like, I remember when Mountain View was garbage. Okay,
Yeah.
everybody. I remember
Dealerships
when no one
loved-
wanted to go to Mountain View. Yeah, it was one big long dealership. Now it's like, I want to go to Castro Street and eat fancy food. I'm like, Castro Street, that piece of crap.
And I'm like, there's only one Castro Street and it's gay as hell, and that's the way we like it.
and it's gay as hell, and it's in the city, not
It's
San
in the
Francisco.
city, exactly.
That's how you know, guys. If someone's like, "Oh yeah, I live in San Fran," I'm like, "Oh, so you're a transplant because you call it San Fran?" It's called the city. A lot of my anger about other things are funneling through this now. So
Wow. I wonder why. Anyway, yes, Oakland
No.
show coming up. More details to follow.
yes,
But anyway.
I don't think
other
we have
than
anything else to
that-
talk about. But
No,
so do you
I
wanna-
think we're going to get into it now. So, my tab today is about an unassuming yet highly controversial person named Mike Diana.
2 first names,
Mike
but
Diana, yeah.
not in the way I would expect. Mike Diana?
You have not heard of this person.
No, I've never heard
Excellent.
of anyone
Good.
named Mike Diana.
I
That
was
sounds
very
like a
worried.
made-up name.
It does sound like a made up
What's
name.
your
I
name?
was very
Michael
Diana.
Diana.
Huge fan of Princess Diana. That's why he
Cherith
changed his
Cute
last
Story.
name.
That's what that sounds like. He
Mike
looks at
Diana.
something and just okay. So let's Mr. Diana,
Mr. Diana. Mike Diana.
the
he's an
people's princess.
The people's. Mike Diana is an introvert who, from a young age, used to love to do nothing more than to sit in his room and draw a bunch of weird shit.
This isn't an autobiography.
This is not. This is definitely not. I promise.
Okay,
But we
good.
do love a harmless weirdo who
Yeah.
sits in his room and doesn't bother anybody. But
Mhm.
Mike was very much not like you and I, because
Oh,
Mike's art was extremely deranged.
no.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
And I know plenty of our listeners are going to be like, oh, I'm a furry who's been on Tumblr since 2010 and I've like seen some shit. And to be fair, you certainly have, right? I don't want
Yeah.
to dismiss that. You've definitely seen some shit. But like Mike's stuff is legitimately upsetting by any metric.
Oh, dang. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm
Yeah,
ready.
This is like a to the point where I'm like, I talked about this a little bit before we started recording, where I was like,
Yeah.
I was debating whether or not I should even do this because I didn't really want to talk about the art that he's made because I don't really like it that much in terms of like, it's not something that
Whoa.
I would engage with necessarily, but his story is one that I find fascinating.
Okay.
And I hadn't really heard anything about this guy, and I thought it was a very important story to be told and that people
Okay.
should know about it. So that's
Oof.
why I wanted to do this tab today about the artist Mike Diana.
Interesting.
So Mike Diana was born in New York in 1969 to a working class Catholic family. And
Okay.
I emphasize the Catholic part here because
Yeah.
that's going to play a lot into what shapes his point of view.
Man, I'm sorry, Catholics. You guys have to put up with so much internal and external garbage.
Yeah, it's a rough road. But it seems like, by all accounts, there wasn't anything like weird about him or his family or his upbringing. He's got like, a couple siblings. Both parents are in the picture. You know,
Wow.
they work. It's sort of just like they're just like a working class, like weird little nice white family in New York. Like there's nothing strange about them.
This sounds like the beginning of a true crime podcast. I'll be completely honest.
Yeah,
with you.
right.
You're like, everything was totally normal.
Everything
on
seemed
paper,
normal until he got hit in the head over and over again, and then started
and killed
murdering
14
animals.
women.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No. He's like, it's like fine. He's just kind of like chilling, whatever.
Okay.
And Mike's interesting because, of course, he takes a shine to art. And but what's interesting is when you look at the art he draws as a kid, he doesn't really stand out as like a gifted observer or copier the way a lot of us who grew up to be professionals would have been, right? Like,
Right.
For me, it was like, oh, he's really good at like copying the Mickey Mouse drawing or like
Right.
coming up with cartoons of his own. And it always sort of resembles something that is, I mean, it doesn't resemble what a professional does at that age, obviously, but it's
Right.
like you can sort of see that like when you're young, you have a good concept of like how shapes work or how anatomy, like you just inherently
Right.
kind of understand it.
It's true.
I don't know if that was the way it was for you, but Mike,
It was.
not so much. That's
100%
not
was.
his deal. This is not a guy whose art you would have necessarily looked at and been like, oh, okay, that guy's going to be like an interesting
He's
artist.
gonna
when he
grow
grows
up to be an artist. Okay.
Yeah. Mike's art was about the strength or sheer bizarre nature of his ideas.
Okay. All of this
So-
is so vague. I'm just waiting for like the beat to drop, where it's just like,
it
hey,
is.
what's happening? Do I like Mike? Am I on his side? Can I like Mike? We'll get there. I'll wait.
It's up to you. So one
It's
such
up
example.
to me?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay. All right.
So one such example is when in kindergarten, his class was tasked with drawing their family, which, as we all know, is like a classic little kid assignment, right? I don't have mine handy, but I absolutely remember very clearly the drawing that I did when I was at that age, right? It's like a stacked circle body construction with like smiley faces and crayon, and like we're floating,
Big
and there's
long
like the sun
fingers
and the sun's in the corner, right?
Always.
It's like we all did the same thing, which is weird. So it's like, is that because we're all looking at each other's drawings and copying them, or is that just sort of inherently like a little kid thing?
Interesting.
I don't know.
That's actually really interesting to think about. I'd love to figure that out. Like,
where that comes?
Why does kid art have? It has very similar, like, monolithic aspects.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if there's. It kind of reminds me of what was it, OnFim? Is that the tab that
yeah.
Where it's like
OnFim.
even like hundreds of years ago, they were still kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah. It's like, here's me on a horse. And it's like nowadays it's like, here's me in a race car or whatever.
We all do that, right?
Yeah.
And Mike, he also more or less does this, but he has like one tiny twist. He draws himself and his whole family totally naked.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Here we go. Look, it's just artistic representation, okay?
Right.
No, actually, that's terrifying and really worrying for a 5-year-old.
Right. Okay. So that's what I was going to ask you. Because like to me, like I don't have kids. Right. So I've just been like, I don't know, whatever. He just sees everybody as naked. Like that might just be like a weird thing that he sees. I don't know. Not like necessarily that it didn't necessarily trigger something in me to be like, oh, we need to send in like child protection services. But
if that
again,
happened to me, with my kids,
curious.
I'd be like, let's give it another, let's see if this happens again. And if it happens again, then I'd be like,
you'd wait for it. You'd sort
weird.
of see if,
I'd wait for it because, like, my kid, especially now, my 5-year-old is like, look, I drew a butt. And it's like, okay, we all go through that. We're all like, let's make everyone laugh. I mean, I don't know about you, but I was the person who would draw literally anything to make anyone laugh.
Yeah.
I was the one who would be like, I'm drawing a penis. Look at this. It has arms and legs and a face and it's running. And everyone's like, that's the peak of art, Hannah. And so, like, that's different than...
But that's more for like you doing that to like make your other friends laugh as opposed to like for the class assignment.
No, exactly. No, I would.
Right.
I don't know how to feel about that. That's actually really interesting.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know. I sort of don't. I don't know.
How would I approach that?
How you would approach that. But I think you're probably right. Like, I think, again, we're not.
I'd give it a minute.
But giving it a minute, I think, would be a fair thing. Is like maybe it's just a one-off thing because, like, you know, nudity is not inherently wrong.
They're figuring it out, yeah.
They're figuring it out. They're understanding it. I guess at that age, everyone's mind goes to worst-case scenario.
Right.
But I don't know. Anyway, his teachers don't do any of that, right? They look at his assignment.
They just say, this is great.
No, they don't. They basically shame him for drawing pictures of naked people.
Oh, well, don't do that.
Yeah.
It's worse than not doing anything. Okay.
So he goes back and he's really embarrassed and he's feeling like a lot of terrible things. And he kind of like erases it and then tries drawing clothing on top of it. So I actually have a picture of...
Oh, you have it? Oh, my goodness. Poor kid. Now I'm still stuck on that. Like, what would I do? And I don't know. That's crazy.
This is what I'm saying. I'm like, there's going to be a lot of stuff with this where I'm like, I don't necessarily know which way to go with it, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is just like, to me, this looks like a kid being like, I know what human bodies look like now. And I want to try to figure out what, look, we're all kind of different. Let's figure it out on paper.
And
sad.
Like, and again, on the surface, it's just a regular family drawing that any other kid would have drawn, but they're naked.
They're naked. He's good. He's good at like drawing.
Like the mom has breasts, and like his sister, I think, seems to have breasts, which is funny because she's young, but like that's what he's associating with being a woman versus being a man, right? Anyway, whatever. There's a lot to unpack here. I'm not a child therapist. I'd be fascinated to know what somebody would think. Like, I don't know if a social worker would just be like, yeah, I don't know, he's just figuring out. Or they might be like, oh, there's some weird thing that's happening. I don't know.
Because it looks like a regular family portrait that people would draw. There's like a flower on the ground and I don't know.
Also, from what I've seen, again, I'm not in just like my kind of cursory exposure to this kind of stuff. A lot of times it'll be like, oh, well, like the father will be like separated from the family in the background in the drawing, or like small, right? That's the kind of shit that they end up reading into. Or like, the mother's absent or the mother's crying, right? It'll always be some weird tell. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it doesn't seem to have any of that. No. Again, we're not professionals. We're totally just like armchair analyzing this.
Is fascinating. I started getting like hung up on this, but I'm like kind of trying to figure this like...
Okay, so hang on to this because
Okay,
this is sort of
okay,
what's
okay.
going to keep happening.
Okay.
Where you're sort of like, is
really
it?
quick.
Yeah.
After I see this,
Yes.
I don't think I would be super worried.
Okay.
If
Interesting.
my kid came home and the teacher was like, by the way, here's this, I'd be like, oh, they probably like saw one of my anatomy books. Because that's my whole thing is like, all my art books are accessible.
Mhm.
They can look through them. They can draw from them. That's how we do it here. Because it's like, there's nothing to hide. So I'd probably like, oh, they probably found one of those. Okay, they're just figuring it out.
Yeah.
After seeing this, I don't think I would be like, uh-oh.
You wouldn't be weirded out. Okay.
No, but if like you said, if it was like the dad is a weird figure and like there's
Right.
a monster over here, then I'd be like, why are we all naked in this?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with the rest of the
Yeah.
picture? Anyway, maybe I'll eat my words later, but I wouldn't be totally concerned.
No. I'm just actually, and feel free as much as you want to chime
Yeah.
in because I'm very curious. Because again, I don't have kids, so I can't
Yeah.
speak to this directly. So like, I know I have a very different perspective on this than you would.
Kids are weird. Kids say the crazy, like they say, oh, kids say the darndest things. So shut up, Bill Cosby. But like they really do say things. You're just like, what?
Yeah.
Where did you get that?
Where did you hear that? And you're like, oh, I
not
said
here.
that. Yeah.
But or if it did, or it's from school, or like I'll tell you a story another time.
Yep. Okay, so another weird contributing factor was at this time his dad was a grade school science teacher, and and of course this is like the early 70s, so kids are just kind of now or like kind of maybe a little bit human beings, right?
Oh, barely.
Right. Barely. And enough progress has been made so they weren't allowed to like beat them anymore when they were out of
Right.
line. So they're like, okay, you can still kind of do stuff and like harass them. Just make sure there's no marks. So apparently that his dad, when like kids in his class would get out of line, he would pull their hair.
Jeez.
Like that's why he would sort of put them in. Again, I'm not placing, I don't think it's good, right?
We're just not used to it. Like
Well,
I mean, I
again,
guess
just
in
to
the
be
80s
clear,
there
like
was
this
a
is all bad. No, this is the 70s, right? So it's like every story I hear from people in the 70s who grew up
Yeah.
in the 70s are like, bro, it was a different time, right?
I got hit a lot by a lot
Yeah.
of adults. Like,
Exactly. So this
Yeah.
seems to be not excusing it, but this seems to be sort of like the what was going on at the time, right?
it's like sometimes like my kids will do something and I'm like, how can I get them to listen to me? And then I think, oh, this is when
Yeah.
people would have hit their kids.
Exactly.
And
yeah,
I'm
you
not
can
going to
understand.
hit my kids.
Right.
So this is a new normal for me to be frustrated that they're not doing what I want.
Yeah.
So it's like this weird, like, oh yeah, no, we don't hit kids anymore. Good. Thankfully.
Thankfully.
Ugh. I never want to go back in time.
So I don't have a drawing from this period of his
Okay.
childhood, but it's like apparently he's like drawing people getting like their hair ripped out of their head.
Oh,
Right. Stuff like that.
metal.
It's very metal, but like again, so on one hand you're like, oh, what is like, is there a deeper meaning? But you're also like, okay, well, he's a kid and this is what
Yeah.
he's seeing and he's drawing what he's seeing. So
Right.
he becomes this interesting barometer of like, okay, well, he's just reflecting back what he's seeing and experiencing. And if someone thinks it's upsetting, it might just be more that they're upset about what they've been doing, what this
Right.
kid's been exposed to, more than like this kid necessarily being somebody to be
Yeah.
controlled.
Well,
if
because
that
when I
makes
think
sense.
about it, I have a lot to say about this apparently. When I think about it,
I figured you would, yeah.
when I think about it, like if I got my hair pulled by a teacher, like
Yeah.
think about getting your hair pulled. It feels like they're ripping your scalp off if it's hard enough.
Yeah.
And so of course, like representing that in drawing would be the extreme. That's how I cope with all of my stuff. Is like when I first went to college, they were like, stop drawing blood all over everybody. Like it was all violence.
Yeah.
And so I would just, which I don't know. I had therapists. They were fine. They figured it out. But it was a lot of violence, and at that time in my life, and burning buildings and stuff. So like,
Yeah.
you end up just putting all the pain you feel from other things into your art, as you fully
Yeah.
understand.
I don't mean,
Go
I was
read
like, you're using
Permafriends.
past tense, but I'm like, no, I just literally every
Yeah.
single day.
Every single day of my
That's
life.
all I do.
I shouldn't even use past tense. I did it yesterday.
No, we both still do it. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, go read Permafriends or
Oh,
Cat
thank
People.
you. Yes. Go read both those things. So
Watch, yeah. Go on.
Mike turns 8 years old, and at that time, his family packs up and they leave New York and they move to Largo, Florida, which,
Oh.
as you can imagine, only hypercharges Mike's weirdness, right? Because
Yeah.
now he's seeing like Florida Man on every corner. There's
Oh.
like his dad really apparently like sideshows and like sword swallowers and carnivals, like all that kind of
What?
shit. Yeah, this is full on Florida in the late 70s, early 80s. So Mike is just seeing the most weird, insane, bizarre shit everywhere he goes.
Well, also the 70s Florida was like the ground zero for the cocaine, like for cocaine coming into the country.
Oh yeah, you're right
was
too. So it's like everything's even more insane.
Absolutely supercharged. Every weird
Yep.
thing is just on coke. So
Yep. You know, but like his mom, she sees that he's doing art and she's supportive. So she's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, you're creative. So she takes him to like see museums and like learn about different artists. And crucially, when his family moves to Florida, they're forced to go to a new church.
oh.
And when he goes to a new church, it's I guess is Roman Catholic the ones that are like fire and brimstone-y, like really intense? I think that's what he says is what it is.
Yeah, but Roman Catholics are like, they're like metal. Like the things
Yeah.
they talk about and believe are like, your skin's gonna melt off in the second coming, like stuff like that.
Yes,
where
exactly.
they love revelations to the point where
Yes.
it's like, can we not focus on dying?
Yes.
And they're the ones
So-
that are like, you see Jesus' scars, you did that. You did
so
that to him.
it's exactly what he's exposed to at this age.
Whew.
And
I mean,
so
I will
you know,
say really quick, it's
Go ahead.
very, very denomination based. It's very like location based and culture based as well. Not all Roman Catholics are like,
I
but
understand. But let's just say at this point, at late 70s, cocaine fueled Florida Roman Catholics are probably as the most like the most extreme version you could think of.
yeah.
So for a second, I just want you to imagine you're a young Mike Diana, right?
Okay.
You want to draw your family naked, but got shamed. Your dad's
All I
pulling
want.
people's hair out. You move to Florida. You're seeing sword swallowers, and your new church is obsessed with Jesus being ripped apart and stabbed and bloody and being punished for your sins. Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And
I'm
then-
there. I'm there.
And then, on top of all of this, what do you learn about?
What?
You learn about people getting molested in the
Oh,
church.
No. Not that.
And-
oh,
and-
poor kid.
And not only that the church denies that these charges happened, but they actively work to cover them up.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, Mike. Is it happening to him?
So this is a question that will sort of go on forever,
Okay.
right?
Fascinating.
This becomes a central theme in his work. So according to him, he's
Great.
basically just like, yeah, I hate child molesters. I
Yeah.
like these people are the worst.
Mike's
I've learned
right.
about like death. Yeah, exactly. Mike's correct.
Mike's
Unlike our own
right.
government. Yes.
Jesus didn't die for these people. They deserve to
Exactly.
be like that's how I see it.
Yes.
It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
no.
And he's like incensed, and it becomes like a central preoccupation for him. And, so I'll say this again. Like, I don't normally get into trigger warnings and shit because I'm
Yeah.
effectively like honorary Gen X kid more than I am a millennial. But like,
yeah.
full disclosure, we're going to be getting into some awful shit.
Okay.
It's just going to be very uncomfortable. I probably can't even put any of this stuff onto the YouTube.
No.
I imagine we might get
Not even
flagged for
the
it.
drawing earlier of the naked family.
Right,
We're,
so
we're not
you're
even
just gonna
putting
have
that
to-
up.
You're going to have to use your sick imagination for it. But
Please. I love
he's
how
still-
we would get flagged, yet there are literal pedophiles running every facet of government. But whatever,
Right.
it's fine.
sent from my iPad. Here's an email being like, cool child molesting. Thumbs up. Thanks
When
for the
can I come
great
to the next
weekend.
one?
Yeah.
So maybe we can just laugh our way through this?
Maybe. I don't know. Unlike any
see.
of this, though, Mike's like, I hate this. And he's like, but I also like to draw weird, like terrifying, messed up shit. So,
Yeah.
this stuff kind of starts to congeal. And to top that all off, right?
Okay.
When he's 10 years old, this poor kid, 10 years old, he finds this book at the school library. And it's called The Battered Child.
No! No, why is it there?
I don't
Why
know.
is it there? Florida's like, let's ban all books except for this one, because that's what that feels like. Ah! Okay.
So much like our Instagram feeds these days, it's just a bunch of pictures of dead kids who have been like
Holy-
mutilated or like yeah.
Are you kidding?
No,
Why is
Yeah.
it in the library?
I don't know. I don't
I'm
know.
Awful. Absolutely awful. Oh, poor Mike.
Poor Mike. That's what I was saying. I was like, he never stood a chance.
No. Oh man, I have so much to say about this, but I'm going to let you finish all of this.
Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, just like it's all making total sense. Like this, like the dichotomy between watching these men of God get angry at you and shame you for your, sins and your sexual, whatever it is, like sexually shame you. And then you watch them do this to your peers.
Yeah.
That will break you to your very core.
Yes.
Like that. I'm not surprised at all that he was just like, I'm going to draw all of this.
Yeah.
And it turns into like a weird separation from your body. How do you view the body in relation to religion and violence? And like how crazy. And then he sees this book and it's just like, oh, so we're all disposable.
Right. Yeah.
Like I feel like that's where it's going, where it's like None of us matter. None of this matters. We're just
Yeah.
a bunch of meat and flesh. And
Right.
anyway,
Just sort of like way too real, way too young.
yeah, I'm diving in deep. Let me know if you need me to slow it down a little bit.
Why? No, absolutely not.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to bring this to you. I
Good.
thought you'd like get a kick out of this one. So don't
Oh, I
apologize.
will.
Like I said, please. So Mike enters his teen years, and unsurprisingly, he becomes obsessed with horror movies, right?
Oh, Mike, yeah.
And
I want to hug Mike.
Yeah.
I want to go find Mike and give him a hug. I'd be like, listen, dude.
he's got this part-time job at the grocery store, and he saves up enough money to buy a video camera, and he starts making his own horror films.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
And I've seen clips of them, and I gotta say, for a kid in the 80s, like with no money, like they're pretty cool looking. Like
Yeah.
he's very ambitious. Like he's doing stuff where he has like a platform where like the hole sticks out where the person's body can be, so then it looks like half their torso is ripped off. I'm like, this is stuff when he's like 15, 16,
Special
14.
effects.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, he's doing it for real. It's not
Yeah.
just like this. It's not just perverse for the sake of perverse. He's clearly thinking about like the logistics of how you construct like blood gags and like mutilated bodies. Like he's learning
Whoa.
the process of filmmaking just on his own, which is really interesting to see. He has a knack
Yeah.
for it.
Wow.
But what's kind of funny is, as I mentioned before, he's like a weirdo, right? So he doesn't have a lot of
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
He just has his like siblings. And so he's like, okay, I'm going to make my siblings be in these movies. And then also, can you guys just like invite your friends over so that I can have more actors? And then
Classic older sibling move where it's just like, you're the actors in this movie and you have no choice.
and then, like I said, his mom is cool. So he's like, okay, mom, you're going to be in this one, and I'm going to chop your head off in this
Awesome.
movie. And so it's funny to hear his family talk about it because they're like, oh, during this time, like these are the Diana family home movies, which is like mom getting her head chopped off and like sis getting her body cut like chopped in half. Like,
I love this. Oh.
it's all deranged and it's all gross and it's all very upsetting. But again, from what I can tell, again, I don't know. I can't say. Like you said, I don't want to eat my words because I have no idea. But just what it appears to be is that it's like a weird family who's kind of like got this weirdo kid, and they're like, okay, well, I guess that's
We
what he's
love
gonna
him.
do. We're gonna do it if that's what he wants to do. Sure,
Yeah.
I'll get my head chopped off in his video so he can
Yeah.
feel happy and like whatever.
Honestly, all I see is a loving mother and a
Yeah,
traumatized
exactly.
child. I don't know. I think I'm realizing, you said controversial, but I'm already kind of realizing that I'm probably going to have a very specific opinion on this man when we're done.
Yeah.
Go on.
Anyway, so eventually Mike has this realization, which is similar to what I had, which is like, it's a lot of work to like get these people together and build these little things and like charge the video
Yeah.
camera and do this. And he's
Yeah.
like, oh, if I just draw comics, I can just sort of scratch the itch of telling these stories without having to like, worry about making it happen in real time or like in real space. I could just
Yeah.
draw it on the page. And he starts
Interesting.
getting into drawing really, really insane, deranged comics.
I think I know who this man is, by the way.
Oh, you do?
I think I might.
You have
Yeah.
heard of him?
I think so.
Okay.
Keep going.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
So
Let's hear. I might
Yeah.
be mixing up with somebody else, but
this is at the same time as the 80s zine scene starts to explode.
uh-huh.
Okay. Mike becomes a crucial contributor to it.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's really trying to push the envelope of like, okay, what's the most controversial, bizarre, insane thing that we can make? Because all of this is kind of like concurrently happening with the hardcore scene. It's all like
Yeah.
a rejection of like Reagan and like,
Yep.
neocons
Oh, yeah.
and all this. It's like, it's becoming like really, really aggressive and deranged. And
I have an anthology of a bunch of these.
oh, do you really?
Yeah, I had to hide it.
Yeah.
It is in a closet. No one
Yeah.
will see it until
So
my kids
even
are older.
even before this, right? So it's like R.
Yeah.
Crumb does that very famous
There's R.
like
Crumb,
the
yeah.
weird incest family thing that he's drawing, right?
Zap Comics.
Zap Comics, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole lineage of this kind of
Yeah.
shit happening, right? That like Mike is not a person who's working in isolation. I mean, he is working in isolation,
Right.
but like
But there was a
he's part of like
groundwork
this lineage of it. Yeah.
laid.
Yeah, groundwork laid. So everyone's trying to like do weird shit and like push the envelope, but like Mike is like, hey, cool, I saw a Dead Kid book when I was 10, and also like do you know what I mean? Like I'm in Florida,
Yes.
like listening to like cocaine fueled like priest burning and fire and brimstone kind of shit. Like he's primed for something totally like in a different league completely from everybody else.
Crazy.
And he starts to publish his own zine that's titled Boiled Angel. So I'm going to show you some stuff that will not show up on.
Did you go to the dark web? Oh, I see what you mean.
No, I'm just saying his art is like, we're not going to be able to show any of this probably. But like,
Okay.
I'm not sure if this is later work or earlier work, but like, here's something.
I love this. Oh yeah. Oh, it's pooping. Okay, all right. So it's a big like Godzilla type monster. Do I describe this? Do you want me to describe
go ahead. No,
this?
go ahead.
And he has like these big gnarled yellow teeth, and he's dripping blood out of his mouth, and he has a dagger that he's stabbing into the heart of a torso with no head, no arms, no legs. And it's what you think. Oh, just got to the penis part of it. And the torso is just perched on his gigantic dong, like the biggest penis you've ever seen. And then he's getting stabbed. He's also pooping all over buildings. So
And his nipples are also mouths with
Oh,
sharp
his nipples.
teeth.
Dude,
he
I've
has
drawn
4
this
testicles. Yeah.
He has 5 testicles. You how
Sorry,
dare
5
you?
testicles.
He
Yeah,
has
that's
4
right.
testicles. He's got teeth for
Extra
nipples.
arms.
He's got another arm. I just love this.
The brain is popping out of the
Yeah.
skull, which also
Yep.
has horns on it, and there's jizz flying everywhere.
Oh, I didn't even see the jizz. Look at that. Wow. There's a lot to absorb in this.
Yes.
I'm still looking.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I laughed so hard when I saw this. This is hilarious.
I think this is this one right here is like one of the earlier pieces that he was doing of like the hair pulling out.
Oh, wow. Yeah, oh, poor kid. That's just him trying to make sense of the juxtaposition between violence and love.
That's what I think is happening with a lot of this.
Where it's
So,
yeah.
Just to reiterate, this is sort of what I was saying at the beginning, where I'm like, this isn't stuff that I like or that I want to like buy and like have in my home, but I get it, right? Like,
yeah. Here's where I'm at.
Yeah.
The later one of the torso. I genuinely love this.
Okay.
I really like this as a style. I wouldn't say the subject matter, but
So that's the tame piece that he's done.
great. Great.
I'm walking you through this, man. I'm walking you through it. So
Great.
he puts the zine together like Boiled Angel, right? And his stated goal is to make, quote, the most offensive zine ever made. And I feel like you won. You did it.
You already did it, dude. You did it with the one I just saw. Oh no,
so-
what am I about to see?
Of course, there's all the topics I've covered that Mike was exposed to at a far too young of an age.
Yeah.
And they congeal into like this capital O offensive comics. And we're
Great.
talking like murder, body mutilation, rape, child molestation, bestiality.
Oh.
It's all deranged and it's all bad. It's not fun stuff to look at.
So don't go look at it, right?
I mean, if you're curious, you should go look at it.
Okay.
But I just again, I can't believe I'm saying this is the sort of, like I said,
yeah.
the honorary Gen X. And I'm like, no, but like legitimately trigger warning. This is so
Actually bad.
I wanted to spend a lot of time talking about what this
Prepping.
was
Yeah.
before just being like, isn't it crazy that he drew this stuff? Because I'm like, I think it's very important to understand what he's doing.
Yeah.
I think it's very necessary to understand the context of it. And these are very complicated waters to wade into. But,
Yeah.
you know, he's
I'm
already
waist
primed.
deep in it right now. Let's
Right.
do it.
He's primed to have like a bizarre point of view as it is.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's seeing dead kids, messed up shit, like massive Catholic conspiracy of child abuse. And he hates these people on like a deep, deep level.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, it's going to disgust you even with the context. But without the context, forget it. You're just going to be like, what? So the other crucial part here is that Mike is not like these loser influencers and like right-wing comedians with like millions of followers like complaining about free speech. Like he's just kind of drawn a zine in his own room and he's sending it out to like other sickos and weirdos who like reach out to him and they're like, okay, yo, I want to find the most offensive thing. And they have this like kind of competition amongst each other where they're just trying to be
Yeah.
like, how do I push the envelope even more and more and more? He's not like knocking down the doors of Marvel and DC and being like, I think Batman should like, get molested or something. Like he's just like in his own
They're like,
corner.
we do too.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
there's this. So this is part of the reason I thought this was an interesting topic to talk about, right? Is
Yeah.
because free speech and First Amendment and all that kind of stuff has been really kind of taken in this way that's very deranged and like really profit based more than anything. And I think this guy is just like, for better or worse, he's just a weirdo in his bedroom being like, I just want to draw weird pictures to upset other weirdos in their bedrooms. And I don't really care if other people ever see this, and they probably shouldn't.
No.
And that's what he says. He's like, the point of this.
Don't look.
He literally says this where he's like, I wanted to make something that if anybody had this in their house, they would be embarrassed that they had it. Like stated goal.
Love that.
Right.
To an extent, I was told once that they're like, I don't know where to put your stuff. Like with somebody at a convention. Like, I would buy this, but I don't know where I would put this. And I'm like,
Yes.
oh. And it changed how I saw which prints I chose, because there's some that you just don't put on your wall. And that's like a very tame version. But like, I like that he's like, I don't want anyone to even feel like they should feel ashamed of having this.
Yeah.
I love that.
Okay. So I don't have the comic, right? I saw a clip of it, so I don't actually have the comic. But I'm going to summarize one of the comics.
Okay.
And it's going to be upsetting. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm just letting you know up front
Okay.
and to anybody listening. Maybe we'll cut this for Patreon
might cut
kind
it
of
out.
stuff for
Okay.
like full trigger warning. But it's like the story is not important, but the structure of how the story is told, I think, is what kind of clarifies that, like, okay, there is some sort of underlying structure and thinking to this, which is why I think it's not just gross, right?
Yeah.
It is gross, but like there is a construction here, right?
Yes.
So it's about this kid. It's a comic. It's like, I think it's only like 2 pages, right? So it's a kid who's like getting molested by this person, right?
Great.
He's not in the process of it, but it's like him and his molester, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a dog that's in the house. And the dog is really angry and like barks at everybody, but this kid is nice to the dog, right? And he's like weeping to the dog, and he's like, oh my God, like Spike or whatever the name of the dog is. He's like, you're my only friend. He's like, I wish that, this person I wish somebody would do something about this man that is molesting me. And then the dog is sort of like angry, and he feeds the dog. And then eventually he comes up this plan where he like lets the dog off the chain.
Okay.
And then the dog kills the molester, right?
Yeah.
And then the molester is dead, and there's blood everywhere, and it's disgusting. And then what ends up happening, he's like, oh my God, Spike, like we're free. Like, I'm so excited. Like, at least that guy's done. And then all of a sudden he turns on, the dog's like, uh-oh, guess what? And then like the red rocket comes out.
Yep.
And he's
Then the dog. Oh, wow. I want to see this.
okay. So again, this is all very uncomfortable.
Okay.
It's all very uncomfortable. We may or may not keep that in. But the point is like, there is a structural irony and a punchline to that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I don't like it.
No. Even the people
But
who
it
rescue you from abuse will end up abusing you. There is no one.
Right.
That's the punchline.
Knowing what I know about Mike, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, it is this weird sense of humor about like this horrific thing. And like, that's sort of what he's trying to expose. Again, it is very hard for me to do this. I'm just saying it for the sake of it, but I think it's
Understood.
necessary to say it.
Yeah.
Is that I think the way that I interpret it is like something that you and I joke about, where it's like, well, nothing matters, and like some horrible shit, some other horrible shit's just going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
But he does it in this extremely like detailed, disgusting, unafraid to look away of the most horrific shit and then draw it and put it on paper kind of way.
Part of me wonders if maybe he doesn't even realize he's doing this, but trying to outgross the grossest thing he can think of.
Yeah.
In order to have narrative control of how gross something is.
I think that's a beautiful way of putting it. Yeah. I think that's what a lot of this is. I think that's very astute.
That's immediately what I go to, where it's like, anyway. I love this topic, by the way. I'm having
good. I thought that's what I was like.
So good.
I was like, I figured this is like a good bit of red meat for you that you enjoy.
Yeah. I have so much to say. Please keep going. This is fascinating to me because I think it's extremely important, especially right now.
Just wait, Hannah. Let me tell you this next part of the story, okay? So anyways, Mike's chugging along. He's drawing deranged shit, sending out his zines to those who fill out like money orders, and stuff that they used to do before the internet. And everything is fine until August of 1990.
Oh, no.
And over the course of a few days, 5 college students are murdered at the University of Florida in Gainesville.
That's right.
Do you remember the Gainesville murders?
I do. I know I've read all about them. Oh my goodness. Okay.
So 2 of the victims were mutilated and another was beheaded. And
Yep.
it's like horrific.
Awful. Yeah.
And this is obviously a very big deal at the time. And
Wow.
the detectives, they're trying to figure out like what the hell happened and who would do something like this and taking evidence and blood samples and
Oh,
putting stuff
no.
on the wire, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Meanwhile,
Don't
here
do
in
this to me.
California, a CHP officer pulls someone over for like, I guess, a routine traffic violation. And they have like narcotics, drugs or something, whatever. Who knows? They probably are lying. Who knows at this point? But they pull this guy over and this officer's going through all this guy's belongings. And in the car, what does he come across?
Mm-hmm.
A copy of Boiled Angel number 6.
Oh,
And this is the cover of Boiled Angel number 6,
no.
which we might not even want to talk about. But
We'll see.
if you want to go ahead and describe it.
Oh, wow. Oh, do I laugh at this? I don't understand. Okay, so it's just a guy disemboweling a woman and pulling an alien fetus out of her.
Yeah.
And she's got an ice pick in her eye, like for a lobotomy, and he
Yep.
is saying, I love engaging in antisocial behavior, which is objectively really funny. But now I'm really scared. I'm scared. What's going to happen to Mike? Did he do this?
So the officer looks at the cover and he's like, what? And he flips through it, right? He flips through it. And then, like I said, there's the money order part or whatever. This is the
Yeah.
back page of it, which I just
Oh.
sent you. And it says, I
Ooh, I
don't
love
know if
that.
you can read the part of the bottom.
It says Boiled Angel number 6, first printing, 150. Oh, there's his name, Michael C. Diana,
Yeah,
Largo,
for
Florida.
extra copies,
For extra
Yep.
copies of this issue, visit this. So it gives his address, his P.O. box.
right?
I love
Uh,
that drawing, by the way. That's like
it's
my
really
favorite
cool.
one so far.
Yeah. And so he's like, oh, interesting. It's this self-published zine by this guy, Mike Diana, out in Florida. And he's like, oh, I
Mm.
remember hearing about a bunch of weird mutilated murders out in Florida. So he's
Yep.
like, suspicious. So he like sends this confiscated copy of Boiled Angel out to the police department and like whatever, the detectives in Gainesville. And he's like, you guys might want to look into this Mike Diana fella. And a few days later, 2 police officers show up at the
No.
Diana residence with a copy of Boiled Angel because Mike is now a suspect
Ugh.
in the Gainesville student murders and they demand a blood sample from him.
No.
And that's where I'll pick
No.
back up for part 2 of the Mike Diana story.
I like how I can feel the energy shift where I'm like, oh no, it's a 2-parter. Oh no, this is our first 2-parter for our new
It's the
format.
first 2-parter for the new season. Yeah.
Wow, erase women's voices, I guess. The next episode
Listen,
is just going
that's
to be
all I
you.
want to do. Yes.
What? Okay, wait. Before I say a bunch of stuff that I'm going to say about Mike,
Okay.
am I about to defend a murderer?
I'm not going to tell you one way or another.
All right, let's make
Only
this...
because, only because, do you want me to tell you right now or do you not want me to tell you? Because I feel like it ruins the...
Don't tell me. But I will
Okay.
say, I did want to make some...
No, but I will say this, the fact that you're worried about that
yeah.
and that you're like thinking is what's interesting to me, right? Is that you're like,
Yeah.
is he a murderer? Isn't he a murderer? The fact that it's unclear is sort of the point of why I thought this was such an interesting
Oh, my goodness.
story, right?
Because I'm going to tell a really quick story, okay?
Go ahead. Yeah.
So in college, I went to a very religious university. And in one of our one of our art classes, they asked the
Mm-hmm.
question, the classic, what is art? And I hate that question. Nothing's
Yep.
worse than that question.
I agree.
And everybody said, a lot of people said, art is something that makes you feel good. And art is something
Sorry.
that I know. Oh, don't worry. I laughed out loud. As a 19-year-old, I was just like, wait, what? Because here I was, like drawing violent stuff at a very
Yeah.
religious university and having teachers ask me what was wrong with myself, what was wrong
Right.
with me. And when they asked that question, I had this fundamental realization that art is not anything in particular.
No.
It's not feelings based. Art is what comes out of somebody. There's a filter through which we see the world as artists.
Mhm.
And however things come out of that filter, that's their experience. And that,
Yep.
whether they want to show the world it or not. And so I see Mike's stuff. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I like
figured
his
you would.
stuff.
I knew you would like it.
And watching this man, without going into too much detail, I understand what Mike is feeling
Yeah.
in the way the crossing of religion and abuse and like art and how
Yeah.
a kid in a kid's mind tries to make sense of the world
Yeah.
and tries to control the narrative. Because
Yep.
when somebody's abused like that as a kid, and I'm not
Yeah.
saying he was, but even when you witness it,
Yeah.
you lose all bodily autonomy. And that follows you through your life. And so watching him do this, whatever he's drawing feels correct to me, because it's like what I see is him trying to reclaim body autonomy in any way possible. Meaning, let's open up the body. What's inside of it? What's the brain doing? What's like every exaggerated piece of these pieces tells me something. And it's nothing about him being, I don't think he's violent. I don't know if he killed these people. I'm going to say he probably didn't, but we'll get there, I guess. But on a very small scale, I experienced that conversation of everyone saying art should make you feel good. I realized I was in a very opposite mindset of that, because the art has never been about that for me. Art has been about trying to regain control of the narrative of my life.
Yeah, same.
As some, and specifically with Mike's experiences with, religious blah, 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 blah abuse and the molestation aspect of it. It's like, that is so important for kids to actually be able to control the narrative of their bodies. And so he's going to the absolute extreme, because who could do worse than himself? Like, somebody, is awful to you or does something to you and you have no way of escaping. Of course, you're going to draw the human body in the worst possible forms. Of course, you're going to explore every single facet of humanity, the good and the bad. And so I see this and I'm like, this dude is just doing this is just art. This is his art. And I don't think there's anything wrong with what he's doing. And maybe that's controversial of me, but like...
No, I agree with you. Again, it's like, the point is not for me to like it or dislike it. The point is to
that's
say,
the
like,
thing. Yeah. It makes you feel something. And I see
it
this
does.
and I think,
Makes
there's
me feel
somebody...
deeply uncomfortable, but like...
But that's the
but
point.
That's okay. Right,
that's
exactly.
Okay, because
that's
it's not about you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's what it ends up coming down to. And so people see these kind of things and they think, and I'm just going to use my own example where it's like, I'm worried about Hannah. Why did she draw...
Are you talking about other people saying? Are you saying that about yourself while you're drawing, or other people
this
worrying?
moment?
Oh, okay.
Now I'm going back to college where I would draw things that really upset people.
Yeah.
I remember I got literally brought into a teacher's office and asked if I was okay, because I drew a protest against something about the Iraq War and how it was just an American soldier getting like literally slaughtered and dismembered by his own flag. And I was like, well, that's what I believe. I believe that we're killing our own soldiers by sending them over there for no reason. And they were like, there's so much blood in this. And I just couldn't like comprehend like what they weren't seeing about it.
Right. Yeah.
Because to me, I was like, but that's what's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you touched a good nerve. I'm just going to keep talking if that's okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, go. I'm loving it. I barely made fun of you or interrupted. That's how interesting it is.
I know. It's weird. It's weirding me out, but I'm just going for it. But
go for it. I love it.
When the moment you decide that art is one thing or another, that's when you completely lose track of what art is. And we see it now with AI and all that stuff where it's like, no, we don't make art because we want everyone to look at it. I would be doing this no matter what. I just also like attention. Yeah. So like at the end of the day, it's like breathing. Yeah. And the way I understand the world is through drawing horrific things, because the horrific things have happened to me. And that is what I see with Mike. And I like it a lot. And it makes me uncomfortable. And I'm glad he did it. And whether or not, however this story ends, I see him. I feel seen by him. And maybe I'm aligning myself with the murderer, but I don't care. Because...
Wouldn't be the first time, young
Wouldn't be
Stalin.
the first time. Yeah, hey, look, he was hot.
Okay.
If someone's hot, they can murder so many people. Anyway, that's my take on it. This was just really, really poignant for me. And I don't think it's controversial to have this guy making this stuff. And then it gets into like, no, see, you got me thinking. It's getting into like trigger warnings and like, are those even something we need to do?
Yeah. So it's funny that you mentioned trigger warnings, because like I was thinking about this, right? Is that the Gen X, or millennial, or whatever, elder millennial, the generational thing is like, I grew up in a time like when I was young, specifically, it was about like, that's when parental advisory explicit lyrics came. Right. That's when they were trying to control what. So for us, it was like, this is about corporations trying to control people's voices for saying something, whether or not those experiences were valid or not. So it was like, the irony I always think of is Ice-T, right? I'm like, I remember Ice-T as Cop Killer. That was his song. That was the thing that I remember about Ice-T. And then everyone being like, you can't have a song about this. And Ice-T is like, what do you care about? Like, it's just a song that I wrote about. Like, you know what I mean? Like the importance of that. Of narratives or songs or stories or whatever it is being this sort of wish fulfillment. Who's the person that says this? They're always like, be messy in your work, but be clean in your life so you can be messy in your work. And I'm like, that's all 100%. It is. I'm like,
We're
I
all
don't
just
have
trying to live.
I don't have a violent bone in my body,
No.
but I absolutely made the human race extinct in my Perma-Friend series because
Yeah.
I wanted everyone to die for the sake
Yeah.
of this story because you people are ungrateful, right?
We don't deserve this.
you
None
don't
of us
deserve
deserve
this. Yes. So
oh,
I get it, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
I get it. I think that's, and so what I think that this was so fun and interesting to read about Mike Diana and this whole story is that you're like, you got to do it for even people like this who are being
Yeah.
like, it's a child molester getting killed, but then the kid's getting raped by a dog. I don't like that. I
but
don't.
that's how the world works.
But that's how the world works,
I
and that's
hate
how
to
this.
say it,
right?
but
And I'm like,
abuse sometimes begets abuse, and
Yes.
it shows the pattern. I'm getting into it again. It shows the pattern
Yes.
of abuse that kids fall into if they are already abused. They
Yes.
don't know what love looks like.
right. I will
so-
say this in terms of like just validating. I won't give away too much, but I'm like, he didn't molest anybody. I'd rather this guy draw comics about child molesters getting killed
Me too.
than you know what I mean. So I'm like, fine, okay, cool,
Yeah.
dude. Like, rather you do that than anything else. Again,
Whatever
we don't
helps
even know
you
if he got molested, or obviously we're
Make
just
sense
making,
of this.
right.
It shouldn't matter if he did or not. What matters is that he's seen the worst of humanity
Yes, I think
Through
at a far
religious-
too young of an age.
through a religious lens, which
Yeah.
will warp it beyond belief.
Yeah,
From a far too young age, where no one sat him down and said, "Hey, here's why this is bad," or "Here's what's happening." A kid only does what he knows, and so
yeah, yeah.
if he sees the
Oh,
worst
by
of
the way,
humanity,
at this point, he's like
oh,
he's not even 20 years old. Like he's
What?
still, yeah.
oh my,
I
God.
think he's like maybe around 20 at this time. So all this stuff that I covered is like up until 20. So he's very young still, right?
Yeah, I don't know. This just really brought up a lot of like deep beliefs for me, where
I figured it would. That's why I wanted to do this one. I was like, I knew this would like spark
Yeah.
something in you.
Well, have you ever seen the work of Sue Ko?
Suko.
I love Sue Ko. Trigger warning. I mean, she's an anti-war, like she does a lot of anti-war stuff. Sue Ko, Suecoe, and she does a lot of like very visceral. Oh, they're not even showing up on here, but like
Like animal
Very-
cruelty.
visceral, like pulling bodies apart and stuff like that, and what war looks like. And
Yeah.
when I did that Iraq war piece, I had my other teacher, who was wonderful, be like, "Hey, I know you're okay.
Yeah.
You should go look at Sue Ko's paintings or
That's
her
cool.
wood cuttings." And I was like, "Okay." And then I got obsessed with Sue Ko for a while.
What a gangster. What an awesome teacher.
Oh, it was so funny. Shout out to Beth Ann. Beth Ann was always like this little tiny like woman who talked like this. And she's like, "You should go read about Sue Ko." And I'm like, oh, wow, Beth Ann, you got me, pinned down exactly what I want. So
These are super cool too.
yeah, they're cool. They're like woodcut anti-war. And a lot of the really, really gory ones aren't being shown, but she would go deep into like, this is what these people are doing to other people.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to be too serious, but I got
No,
way
I think-
serious.
No, go ahead.
No, it just like the way humans deal with seeing the worst of humanity
Yeah.
is important. We have to deal with it, and if we ignore it, then it's just going to keep happening.
Yeah. I think most people would rather just ignore it completely and, like you
Yep.
said, only make art that makes you feel good.
And I think that's insane to believe that. Anyway, that was one of those pivotal moments of my life where I was like, everybody's delusional.
Yeah. I know you're gonna want to go look at a bunch of Mike Diana's
won't.
art,
I won't
but
do it.
don't, because whatever you read will probably like give away what happens in the story. So I'd rather you just not look at it.
I'm gonna, without you saying anything, I'm gonna say I don't think he'd had anything to do with these murders, but we'll see. That's my guess. But hey,
Let's see.
we never know.
Okay.
You never know.
You never know.
Dude.
Okay. Anyway,
Ah.
that's part one of Mike Diana. I'm glad
Made
that
my day.
Good.
That's sorry. I'm still just thinking about it. We should do closing of the tabs, right?
Yes, although I'm gonna
Okay.
close some of them, not all of them.
Oh yeah. Do we even need to close them since you're?
Let's just do them for the sake of the show because we gotta do
Okay.
it. I'll close one of them.
How do you want to close them?
I don't know.
Someone being molested.
Stab it. Yes.
I said it. Hey. How about
Alyssa, if you can come up with a sound effect for that,
Don't-
by all means.
don't do that.
No.
Or yeah, how do you?
I mean, I don't know. There's it's like chopping off heads. Like I don't know, just a sword
Yeah.
sound, bloody. I don't know. I feel like we've done murder so many times.
Yeah, we have done.
We've done a lot of murder.
We've done a lot of murder. How about we should do something completely opposite? How about like
A
I
naked
have
family.
nothing. A naked family? What would
Yeah, I
that-
was like, there's no sound effect for that. I'm just trying to think of all the things that we've covered today. How about just the squish of one of his horror films that he made as a kid?
That's a good idea. Like a horror film, like a
Yeah.
watermelon being stabbed.
Yes.
Not a watermelon. We love watermelon.
We
You know
love
what I mean?
watermelons. I know what you're saying. Yes, the sound effect. Anyway,
Yeah.
calm me
Okay,
down.
we're gonna stab this tab to death.
Yeah,
Figuratively. Okay, ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. I always
Okay.
want to like make the noises.
You always want to make the sound
I
effect
know.
instead of letting the sound effect play.
It's bad. Okay, listener mail.
Moving on to listener email.
Okay, you ready for me to read
Yeah.
this? I
Go
might
for it.
need you to lend your
Oh,
ability
okay.
to do a
Let me-
voice.
Let me pull it up then. I don't
So
have
just
it on my screen
I was
yet.
trying to get my Troy McClure impression down.
Hi,
but-
I'm Troy McClure.
So I need you to read the first sentence of this from Matt
So-
from Ohio.
Hi, I'm Matt from Ohio. You may remember me from such listener tabs as the Toledo War and the Firelands.
Nice.
Well, I'm here with a submission to round out my trilogy of Ohio-related tabs, the story of the Cleveland balloon disaster.
Have you ever heard of this story?
No, I have no idea.
I almost did a tab on it, but then I realized
really?
it's been extensively covered to the point where it's like, well, someone else. There's like so much about this, but that's why I chose it for the tab, the listener tab. It's so funny. Okay, in September of 1986, the United Way of Cleveland, as part of a fundraising and publicity event, wanted to set a world record for the simultaneous release of small helium-filled balloons. On the day of the event, organizers simultaneously released nearly 1.5 million helium-filled balloons in downtown Cleveland, despite warnings that the weather conditions may not be ideal. As those warnings suggested, soon after the release, a cold front hit the area and caused the balloons to immediately drift back to the ground. Like some sort of colorful alien invasion, the massive balloons descended on the Cleveland metropolitan area, clogging roadways, causing accidents, and forcing the nearby airport to close.
Oh, no.
This is not funny. Worst of all, the event is said to have contributed to the drowning of 2 people in Lake
What?
Erie because search and rescue teams were unable to find them due to the number of balloons floating on the surface of the lake.
That's awful.
Awful. The event is also considered an environmental disaster for all the
Yeah.
fallen balloons that littered the region.
I can imagine.
While the event did technically set the world record, due to the disaster it became, the Guinness Book of World Records no longer accepts balloon releases for record-breaking attempts. Surprisingly, the event organizers and the city of Cleveland were unsurprisingly, they were subject to multiple lawsuits over the incident.
Damn.
Thanks again for all your work and for filling my head with lots of interesting bits of knowledge that I'll get to info dump on my wife. Still waiting
Like
for
helium
Michigan.
filling in your head.
Yeah. This is what this is. We're just going to pollute the air with our
Yeah.
with what we say. Still waiting for Michigan to take back the Toledo Strip, Matthew. And
Thank
there's
you, Matthew.
pictures. If you click on that first picture, you got to pick on the first link because it's absolutely unhinged.
The first one?
Uh-huh.
Oh, whoa. It literally just, it looks like up. But it
Uh-huh.
also looks like you know what it looks like? It looks like sprinkles like going onto like an ice cream
Yeah.
cone. Like that's the amount of that's an insane amount of balloons.
Yeah, scroll down. There's more, and they
Jesus.
blot out the sky.
Bro.
Yeah, keep going all the way down. There's like
Dude, it looks like a swarm of locusts coming in.
that's what I mean. It's like biblical balloon event.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Wow.
I mean, it's pretty awesome though.
It looks amazing. I'm
It
sorry.
looks incredible. Yeah.
2 people died,
Doesn't seem
but-
like it was worth it, but it sure might have been. I'm sure that was like a sight to see. Incredible. Holy
That was
shit.
one of those deaths where it's like you get to wherever it is after, and they're like, "How'd you die?" And it's like, "Well, neglect because
Balloons.
there were too many balloons on the lake where I drowned."
You're like, what? That's hilarious.
Dude, I died in a war, the old balloon war. of
Balloon
86.
Fest.
So yeah, Balloon Fest. Those are always really crazy pictures to see. But
Yeah.
and if you want to write us, you can write us your own listener tab or listener voice memo at 500opentabs@gmail.com 500, and you can also follow us at the same name on
Yeah.
Blue Sky and Instagram and YouTube.
I'm at PermaFriends on Instagram. Hannah is at Hannah Helm on everything.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that wraps it up. I'm excited to record part 2 and get into the rest of the story for you and the
Me
listeners.
too.
It's going to be a fun one.
This is really exciting. I've loved
Yeah.
this so far.
Good.
And I was gonna say, if you want to join our Discord, that's available. The link is
Yeah.
in the thing, and Patreon. You'll get to hear next week's episode early, and
Further discussion about art and
Yeah.
and we probably will lift some
Most
of this out
likely
for
some of
time
the-
because we go off on some tangents that were pretty interesting. So
pretty
Go ahead and subscribe to
inappropriate
that.
for YouTube. So maybe
Yes.
go to there. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, everybody. I will see you at, I don't even know. I don't have a sign
I
up.
don't
Free
know.
the people of Iran.
Yeah. Free
And
Palestine.
keep them in your hearts. Free Palestine.
Free all oppressed people.
Yeah, love it.
It's time everyone picks their side. Let's just say
Yeah,
that.
art doesn't have to make you feel
No.
good. It could just make you feel anything.
It exactly. I'll see you at the place that makes you feel anything art museum. That's a good sign off.
They're not going to have our art in that museum, thankfully.
Ours is just glitter. It's just waste,
Yeah,
right?
we're the balloons in the sky. Anyway, thanks everybody. See you next week.
See ya.
At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 350 plus programs at asuonline.asu.edu.